मुदाकरात्मोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकं मुदाकरात्मोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् नमामि तं विनायकम् न तेतरातिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न ताधिकापदुद्धरं न तेतरातिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न ताधिकापदुद्धरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं तमाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरं परात्परं निरन्तरं परात्परं निरन्तरं। धन्यवादಗಳು.
That was indeed a divine and soulful melody. Now, I would like to welcome Shri K. Xavier Raja, Chairman of the Steering Committee for this event, to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening to one and all. Our chief guest, Honorable Minister Dr. Ashwath Narayanan, could not be present here due to unavoidable circumstances. Shri S. Somanath, Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO. Shri S. Kiran Kumar, Chairman, Governing Council, Bangalore Association for Science Education. Dr. R. Uma Maheshwaran, Director, Human Space Flight Center. Dr. Pramod Galagali, Director, Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium. Senior officials from ISRO and DAS, members of Governing Council of JNP, esteemed staff from ISRO centers, DOS, JNP and their family members, members from the media, student members, and all my colleagues and friends. Namaskara, Namaste, and very good evening to you all. We are celebrating and commemorating the 75th years of India's independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. At this juncture, let me pay my tribute to all our freedom fighters who brought us independence by their hard struggle and sacrifices. Today, we have gathered for the inaugural function of Human Spaceflight Expo as part of ACOM. It was on August 15, 2018, when from the ramparts of Red Fort, our Honorable Prime Minister gave a mandate to ISRO to accomplish human spaceflight mission carrying boys and girls of India to space. So the vision of human spaceflight program is to implement a sustained and affordable human and robotic program to explore the solar system and beyond. Extend human presence across the solar system, starting with human spaceflight to low Earth orbit and return. So to achieve this vision, Human Space Flight Center was inaugurated on 30th January 2019 at ISRO headquarters campus in Bangalore. Gaganyaan project was constituted to accomplish Indian human spaceflight mission to low Earth orbit and return. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, HSFC ISRO is organizing Human Spaceflight Expo 2022, a human spaceflight theme program which will span over the next 3 days here in Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium. In the absence, I am welcome Dr. Ashwath Narayanan, Minister for Higher Education, Information Technology, Biotechnology, Science, Technology, Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Livelihood. I welcome Shri H. Somanath, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman ISRO to this gathering. It is indeed our pleasure that he has consented to preside over this function and has been kind enough to entrust the responsibility of organizing this expo to HSFC. This is the first outreach program being organized by HSFC, showcasing human spaceflight activities. Sir, I heartily welcome you and request Saranya to present a sapling. I take this opportunity to welcome Shri A.S. Kiran Kumar, Chairman, Governing Council, Bangalore Association for Science Education, and ex-chairman of ISRO to this August function. As chairman of the Governing Council, he has been instrumental in the conduct of this expo. Sir, I welcome you and request Meena to present a sapling. We are extremely thankful to Shri M. Shankaran, Director URSC, for gracing this occasion with his august presence. Sir, I heartily welcome you and request Pragya to present a sapling. I now welcome Shri Pramod Galgali, Director, Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium to this gathering. Under his able guidance, JNP and ISRO teams have worked together to make this expo a reality. Sir, I welcome you and request Sweta to present a sapling. I take this opportunity to welcome Shri B. N. Ramakrishna, Director ISTRAC, Dr. K.V. Sriram, Director LIAS, Shri Shandani Badwadekar, Scientific Secretary ISRO, Srimati Jayanti, Joint Secretary DOS, Dr. M. Subramaniam, Joint Secretary DOS, Victor Joseph, Associate Scientific Secretary ISRO, Shri Imtiaz Ali Khan, Director DHSP, and members of Governing Council, Bangalore Association of Science Education, Dr. B. Shailaja, visiting scientist, Dr. B. Sri Kumar, Sadish Lavan, professor, Sri A. B. Bashwaraja, IAS, MD, K-Steps. I welcome all the scientists, engineers, officers, and staff of HSFC, URSC, ISTRAC, LEOS, ISRO headquarters, DOS, and JNP who are present here. It is my great pleasure to welcome their family members to this inaugural function. I heartily welcome members from media who are covering this function. I welcome members from the students community from the bottom of my heart. This expo is mainly targeted at you students, and your wholehearted participation will only make this program a grand success. For 3 days from now, we will have many varied events, exhibits, competitions, stunning videos, live lectures, and much more activities to witness. I request everyone to take part in these events and make this expo a memorable one. I end my speech with a quote from Thirukural. Tottanai thoorum manarkeni, maandarkku katranai thoorum arivu. The deeper you dig the sand, the higher the spring flows. The deeper you learn, the better your knowledge grows. It is my sincere wish that everyone who visits this expo leaves with enhanced knowledge. Thank you and ధన్యవాదాలు.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to request Shri K. Xavier Raja, Chairman of the Steering Committee, to kindly accept the sapling.
दीप सदा से ही ज्ञान का प्रतीक रहा है और किसी भी शुभ कार्य का आरंभ दीप प्रज्वलन से करना हमारी परंपरा है. Now is the time to kindle the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. Light expels the darkness in the same manner as knowledge fades away ignorance. Hence, to mark the commencement of the ceremony, I'd like to request all the dignitaries to please come forth and illuminate the lamp. Sirs, please.
I would now like to request Vaishnavi to present a sapling to Director, Human Space Flight Center, Dr. R. Uma Maheshwaran. Thank you, everyone. Aristotle aptly quoted, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit." Today, we have here with us an individual who could be viewed as the embodiment of this idea. We are pleased to welcome Dr. R. Uma Maheshwaran, Director of the Human Space Flight Center. In his many years of service, he has been instrumental in the development of ISRO's launch vehicles, having played key roles in system integration, checkout, and avionics of various missions. He has also held multiple important positions, such as Project Director of GSLV, Deputy Director of Avionics at VSSC, as well as the Scientific Secretary of ISRO. He has also represented India in several international forums and collaborations. With this, I would like to request Dr. R. Uma Maheshwaran to introduce the theme for the Human Spaceflight Expo. Thank you.
Sir, please.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Respected Chairman ISRO and Secretary Department of Space, Sri Somnath. The chief guest of today, Dr. Ashwath Narayanan, unfortunately could not be with us, but he has given a message to us which will be conveyed to you soon. Most respected Sri Kiran Kumar sir, Director URSC Sri Shankaran, Director of Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium Sri Pramod Galgali, who I would say is instrumental for this particular expo being a reality. So let me also thank him for contributing this much for this program. Sri Xavier Raja, Controller HSFC and Chairman Steering Committee of ACAM. Sri Bayali, Member Secretary for that. Senator Sri Ram and our Director ISRAC. Other senior colleagues from ISRO, Department of Space, and from the planetarium, as well as my dear young friends who have gathered here a plenty. Thank you very much for joining this very exciting program. I request youngsters to come not only today, but come day today, day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, you have 3 days of activities and excitement. So as Sri Xavier Raja indicated, it was in 2018 that Honorable Prime Minister announced the Gaganyaan program, wherein he said very explicitly that one daughter or a son of India will go to the space and come back safely. And he also indicated that it should happen on the 75th year of India's independence. Definitely, a lot of progress has happened in that direction. Actually, at the time of announcement itself, ISRO had initiated prior to that a series of pre-program activities, and we were in a very good shape to start the campaign as directed by the Honorable Prime Minister. But of course, as you know, there are various issues that has happened, including the onset of COVID, which really did affect some of our programs. But at the same time, up to this stage, we have achieved quite a lot. In fact, I must say that the human-rated launch vehicle is practically ready. The astronaut selection was successfully completed, and they are undergoing the various phases of training. And some exciting new technologies, challenging technologies, which like the development of crew module, the environmental control system, the mechanism of deceleration during re-entry and then touching down, the parachute deployment, I can go on, and the kind of recovery operations that are required, the kind of on-orbit communications that are required. It is extremely challenging, and I'm extremely happy at this same time to tell you at this juncture that most of the challenges have been already overcome. The design is completed. Now only what is remaining is the realization, implementing it and testing it. And the last part, testing is extremely important, since sending humans into space is a different ballgame altogether. The kind of reliability and the kind of accurate, accurate events happening accurately is one order higher and one order better. So we need extensive testing and demonstration of these various facets. So definitely you are going to hear from us some exciting kind of experiments, that demonstrative experiments that we are going to carry out, as chairman has earlier indicated in his previous interactions with the public. That kind of test vehicle program, we have a specific test vehicle program wherein the some of these technologies like the parachute deployment, the splashing down, the recovery operations, etc., are going to be tested. So a series of such tests, airdrop tests, etc., are on the anvil, which will lead finally culminate in the first unmanned mission. So a lot of exciting days are ahead of us. So we thought this is the right time, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, wherein we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of our Indian independence, that it is the right time at least to showcase our achievements and at the same time inform the Indian public what we have achieved and where are we. I think it is our duty to do that. And let me also tell you that this is not an ISRO program. This is a pan-India program. The academia, the industries, most of the activities that ISRO even otherwise conduct are with the help of more than 60 to 70% with the help of industries only. So industries, the other government services, the armed forces, and a plethora of academia students, all the entire stakeholders in India are part of this program. So Gaganyaan is a pan-India program. So that is one of the main purposes to showcase during this exciting Human Space Flight Expo. As part of, as I said earlier, this is aimed at imparting the knowledge to public about various challenges that are involved and the technologies that has to be mastered to embark on a human spaceflight mission. And we have chosen a right venue, the planetarium. So you can see some exciting videos there with respect to the program, the various facets of this program. The mission profile of Gaganyaan is also displayed to give you an overall idea of the entire mission. The full-scale model of two components of the orbital module, namely the crew module and the service module, is also displayed here. Of course, this is only a model. There will be changes when it ultimately when it flies, but it gives you the kind of size and the kind of area and the kind of the real estate that is going to be available to our astronauts. A balloon depicting the crew module is already flying up there. As I said, the crew module is already flying. The heritage scaled-down launch vehicle and satellite modules of ISRO are also being displayed here. There are new technologies which needs to be developed, as I said earlier, for the human spaceflight mission, like life support systems also will be demonstrated through interactive models here. And also to give an overview of what lies beyond the maiden's human space mission, Gaganyaan, the models depicting the Indian space station, the Mars rover, etc., are also going to be displayed here. This will give you the kind of thought process that we are having now, the kind of deliberations that we are having now with respect to what lies beyond the Gaganyaan program. And we have basically the 3 days we would like to concentrate and aim our young next gen, the young students who are here. So competitions like poster presentation, the drawings, building space habitat, sail plane, etc. are being conducted, involving you students of all age groups. Interactive games on theme on the launch vehicle, assembling, the quiz, the planets, etc. are also in place. There will be interesting games like race to space, etc. Also, what it takes to be an astronaut we are trying to explain through engaging various activities like finding out the contents of an astronaut kit and understanding of what today activities an astronaut needs to do, etc. And of course, the icing of the cake, as one can say, there are live lectures by experts from ISRO, which are planned on all days to give you a in-depth understanding of the various topics pertaining to the space and human space flight mission. We are also doing a satellite communication demonstration through ham radio. That also in one of the 3 days this is being planned. So basically the existing facilities of the planetarium is merged with the theme of Human Space Flight Expo, and a kind of guided tour is also being planned. So for the public, as I said earlier, especially for the next generation, the students, a host of exciting programs are awaiting them in the coming 3 days. I request all of you to please come forward and participate in our voyage of Gaganyaan. So thanking you once again, and also wishing all of us good luck and all the best. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you for such an informative address, sir. It has been said that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And we are honored to have one such strong and able leader here with us today, recipient of the Space Gold Medal from the Astronautical Society of India and corresponding member of the International Academy of Astronautics. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to introduce to you Shri S. Somnath, Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman, Indian Space Research Organization. An expert in the area of vehicle engineering, we witnessed the success of the first experimental flight of LVM-3 Care mission in 2014 under his leadership. He was instrumental for the indigenization of the cryogenic engine, which led to the success of the LVM-3 mission. After having served as the project director of the LVM-3, he progressed to hold the post of Liquid Propulsion System Center and thereafter held the post of director, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. We at ISRO are honored to have witnessed such an inspiration among us. So, we'd humbly like to invite you on the stage to deliver the inaugural address. So, please.
So, good evening, all of you. Most Honorable Sri Kiran Kumar, former Chairman ISRO, Directors of Human Space Flight Center, our URAO Satellite Center, and also the Nehru Planetarium, Sri Sevar Raja. I feel very offended. So, my greetings to you on the occasion of this celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, partnering with the Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, Bangalore, and also the Human Space Flight Center of ISRO. This is in fact a celebration of the 75th year of independence, not really the celebration of human space flight. And we would like to be a partner in the celebration of the nation for when you join together in celebrating the 75th year of our independence. First, let me talk a little bit about that part of it. See, all of us, as part of this country, realize that when we got independence, we were a country of just 35 crore people. Today, we are a country of 140 crore people, almost 100 crore added since independence in this. But the growth that we have made in this nation the last 75 years is really phenomenal. I think this we must recognize and celebrate. What exactly is the growth? The growth, if you look at when we were just after independence, you know, though we were only 35 crore people, there was huge amount of famine all across the country. The people were dying in eastern areas when the distribution system for our food grains was so poor. Our infrastructure was in almost at the shambles. Our agriculture sector was really suffering. So the next few years you saw the transformation of the country in terms of creating large amount of infrastructure, the growth in economy, and slowly we are taking steps to become a real powerful nation. We have been called as a developing nation, right? All throughout we studied when we were in schools, we were called a developing nation, and there is somebody else called developed nation, and we are somebody not yet approached that. We are somebody still lagging behind. This is some impression that has come into our mind. Do you think that we are still a developing nation? No. I think we will rightfully call a developed nation. Why? Primarily because we are able to feed that 140 crore people today. It's not a small achievement. And it has come because that we have placed our resources in terms of creating the infrastructure and technology in the agriculture sector to solve the problems of shortage of food grains. And we are actually exporting food grains today. The wheat that was planned to be exported when the Ukraine-Russian war took place, it's not a small achievement. You look at the domains of various other areas where we are really grown, in terms of space technology, in the atomic energy sector, in terms of the railways, that the growth that has happened, in terms of roads and the connectivity. And of course, the IT sector boom, where that being one of the important employers and revenue earners in this country today. The biotechnology sector, the medicines that we have been able to manufacture in the times of the pandemic is really amazing. And India is one of the biggest manufacturers of regular drugs or standard drugs that we are importing, and we are the biggest supplier of drugs for the entire world, even now. So if you look at various sectors, we can be proud of many great achievements that we have made, but there are many more areas that we are yet to explore and accomplish. Space is one of them. Space is one domain that during 60s, Sarabhai believed that there is something that we can do for space. Through space that we can address the problems of our people, and we can really make a change in their life through the application of the technology from space. And this is where we began. And there were many skeptics at that point in time. And we overcoming all those skepticism, we have achieved in the last 50, 60 years something phenomenal. What we have really achieved in space sector, if you really look back, you understand that by launching small rockets at that point in time with the support of Americas, French, and the Europeans and the Russians, we have grown to become a nation who is capable of designing your own rocket and launch it from our own land, build our own satellites, build our own applications, and today we own almost 51 satellites in orbit, and 48 of them, I understand 48 of them functional today. And we were the only country who achieved the first time successful mission to Mars and placed a satellite around the orbit of Mars using our medium scale launcher called PSLV. And we have been successful in showcasing that we can make the crew module go to orbit and come back safely through the SRE experiment. And we did a suborbital crew module test. We also demonstrated a pad abort test. After having all these demonstrations, now government is feeling very well confident about us that we can actually accomplish a human space flight. Just imagine the country who got independence in 1947. If you are ever told that country that one day you will fly human beings to space, people would have just laughed at us, no? Just imagine that. Today, after traveling through the 75 years in our post-independence era, just one sector called the space, we have this confidence to build human space flight for our own. It's not a small achievement.